Hi everyone, Vegas Film Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard, here to review Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie starring James Marsden and Jim Carrey. You know, I'm Generation X, so I grew up playing Asteroids, Space Invaders, Galaga, all those kind of games. So I wasn't a Nintendo generation, I wasn't a Sega generation, I was the Atari generation. I even had the studio call me up and say, hey Jeff, do you want to do something with Sonic the Hedgehog? Did you play that game? I'm like, no I didn't. You got the wrong person. So I went into this movie just like, please, do I really have to see Sonic the Hedgehog? You know, video game movies are generally really bad, but it was Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was the only beacon that was shining its way to the movie theater to see Sonic the Hedgehog. And I love James Marsden too. He's like one of my favorites. So I go into the movie and it was a blast. It really was. It just was so charming. It was so funny and so fast paced that I didn't have time to be bored. And I have to give all the credit to Mr. Jim Carrey, who's back doing his silly kind of faces, doing his pratfalls, doing his one-liners, doing the facial expressions, all of that thing as Dr. Robotic. Professor Robotic or Dr. Robotic. And he was kind of conveying, channeling Jack Lemmon, I thought, Professor Fate, you know, from The Great Race, if you've seen that movie, because he's got that Snidely Whiplash mustache going on right now. And so first of all, Sonic is from another world, and he comes to Earth, and he's hiding out Earth in a small northwestern town where this Mayberry type of town, where James Marsden is the sheriff. And he wants to be on a real police force. He wants to go to San Francisco. He wants to leave the quiet Mayberry life behind. And for years, there's been a rumor of crazy old coots that have been wandering around town of this blue devil, this blue Flash. And it's Sonic. And he's just so much to be loved. He wants to belong. He knows everybody in town. He goes to all of their functions, but he can't make himself present. So he knows everything that's going on. I'll take you to San Francisco. We'll help you get into another dimension or the mushroom planet or something like that, so you can be safe so the government doesn't capture you and cut you up. And I always think, is Jim Carrey really, is Dr. Robotic, is he a villain? He doesn't do anything really evil in the movie. He's just an eccentric genius. That's how I see him, and he wants Sonic for the greater good. He wants his source of power because he's like lightning and energy. So again, Jim Carrey sells this movie, and he is so funny in this movie, and his scenes with James Marsden just cracked me up, and he's just over the top, and his comic genius is like lightning in a bottle. This guy cannot stop being funny. And I think one of the greatest moments in the movie is where he does a music video. It has nothing to do with the movie. He's got this giant RV that's got all the computers and all the technology in it. And there's just a scene where he is standing there against a backdrop singing and dancing and skiing. And I mean, I was dying. It was so funny.
Of course I want a latte. I love the way you make them.
I was really impressed with this movie, especially after all the craziness that was out, 6-8 months ago when Sonic fans were upset because his teeth were different and they had to go back and reanimate it. I think that was just a fake story out there because, to get the buzz going about this movie. But overall, Sonic the movie was so much fun. I had a blast with it. Jim Carrey, you are the best. All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Make sure you check me out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, comment below, and give me a thumbs up.
Oh, give me a big fat break!
That was an illegal left, by the way.
Aw, this one is cute. Let's keep him.
I'm Jeffrey K. Howard in Las Vegas. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.